We wanted Dan to live where he wanted to live. We wanted him to be with people in his home that he liked and he wanted around him. And we wanted him to be able to make his own choices.
It was not an easy road. We just didn't stop until we got what we knew was going to provide him with the best life.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katrina. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your dessert.
Music is a big thought provoker for Dan as far as what his emotions are. He doesn't share his emotions typically the way a lot of people do.
You know how Danny's feeling based on the Disney movie he's quoting or the very specific song that we heard when we were younger. You know, you walk in, "Hey Dan," and he starts singing that song and you're like, "Ooh, not right now. We're not chatting right now, but maybe we can try again in a bit."
Like,
I really like that about him.
He has his own language, really.
He
Dan
really
language,
does.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody can share means
I want more.
I want more, but I know I'm not going to have thirds, so I'll quit at 2.
Danny, can I have a bite?
Nope.
Oh, he's an interesting man.
You gotta love Danny.
Gotta love Dad.
Dan is 37 years old and he lives in his own home. When you're 16 years old, you don't really want your parents telling you what to do all the time. He let us know that he also wanted to be independent. And so we did start planning for his future. In Dan's mind, who takes things very literally, when you're an adult, you're 18 years old. He turned 18 and he wondered where his house was. When was he going to move out? He didn't want to live with us anymore, and he made it very clear. He didn't want to go to school anymore, and he made that very clear. And that's when his second mom took over, which was Shelley. And Dan moved in with Shelley for, I guess that was 18 months.
Is that all?
Yeah, it seems longer, doesn't it? He made it very clear he wanted to be working, and he did not want to be living in Mom and Dad's anymore. And that's what worked for Dan. We continued our pursuit in looking for a model that would work perfectly, and for us it was ICOF.
Getting him in the company of friends wasn't going to be easy.
No.
And we started advocating when he was 16, knowing he wouldn't age out until 21. But we spent 5 years exploring, looking around, what was going to work, what wasn't going to work. And we nailed it on ICOF. And then we would accept nothing else. And we were denied and denied and denied from government. One person in this province is getting this kind of model and this kind of funding. Danny's getting it too.
Yeah.
Right? And we didn't stop.
We would not accept no.
And we got denied and denied, and we just went higher and higher.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, that moment. I was at a conference and the social worker called and said we got funding for him.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was life-changing.
It really was.
There are 8 of us on the network that all kind of work to support Dan. I think that each of us kind of brings a different perspective on Dan too. Like each of us kind of knows Dan in a different capacity.
Oh, nice.
Danny is somebody who really lets you know whether or not he appreciates your support.
What books did you get?
Danny.
What books did you get?
Yes.
What does the shirt say?
Power line.
You like that shirt?
Yes. Close the door.
Okay, I'll leave.
Me and my siblings are starting to take a more active role is because I think that the role that each of us plays is really important in Dan's life. My sister has always been kind of maternal and motherly, whereas my younger siblings have kind of always looked up to Dan. It's personal for us. We love Dan. He's my older annoying brother.
Danny lives his own life, and that's part of the teaching that we as a support network have done with the staff. This is Dan's life. He's going to live an ordinary life, and your job is to help him do that. What we may think is the best life for Dan, he doesn't think so. And that was hard as a network. At one point, we even thought he should have a roommate. No, thank you. No, thank you. Dan does not want a roommate. He likes to be alone, right? And from the outside looking in, that might not be a good quality life, according to someone else. Sure is to him. The lesson learned from this was don't stop, don't accept no as an answer, get around it, keep going, don't get frustrated. How many people don't have Sue and Shelley's to do this? It can be daunting, like work in the system can be exhausting.
Yes.
And we sometimes hit some hard issues and we have some pretty back and forth conversations. And I think every single person on it remembers that we are individually there for Dan. So we can work through anything as long as we all remember that. He has full decision making in his day-to-day life at home. What he eats, what he wears, what he's going to do. Nobody tells Dan what he can and can't do in his home. And that's important to Danny, right? Respecting Danny for who he is. Nobody came into my life and told me how to live it. I made lots of mistakes. So did Dan. Dan learns, he's growing older, he's maturing. Having a support network in Dan's life truly has provided him with the life he wants to live. This is the best model of people having control of their lives that I've seen in the country. We are forever grateful that he gets to live this life because of In the Company of Friends.
Under the sea, under the sea. Nobody leaves so fries and leaves off easy cause we got a lot to cook.